everybody. This is my dog Clover. Leave it. I'm training her, and today's lesson will involve her. Leave it. Okay. Good job. Leave it. Okay. Good, Clover. And Clover, lie down. Good job. Leave it. Okay. Clover, a stump. Good. Okay, so Clover, as you can see, is a pretty good dog. She listens pretty good, and she comes when I call her for the most part. And she leaves stuff alone when I don't want her to eat it right away. And I think there's a bit of a lesson in that too. This Sunday of Advent is mentioning faith, and there's a lot of faith involved in Jesus' birth, where people believed that God would do what he promised. There's one Bible verse that says that faith is the assurance of what we hope for and being certain about what we do not see. Not those exact words, but in Clover's case, she is certain that if she listens and does what I say, then she will get a treat. That's very simple. And what God has promised us is that he will be with us and that he will provide what we need. He's promised that Jesus will come back again. And in the Bible times, he promised that a Messiah would come. So that is one thing that we can have faith in too. Clover, a stump. Here. So today we're also going to be doing something a little bit different. I'm going to tell you a Bible story. And this is the story of Jesus's great and more greats grandma. But yeah, you can hear this story, and it will also fit in with the lesson that we learned from Clover. If you want to look it up yourself, I'll have some illustrations, and I have the link to all of this in the description box below. So yeah, check it out. They've got some other good stuff too. Anyway, here is the story, and if you want to read it yourself, you can look in the book of Joshua. Joshua was the new leader of God's people. He knew that he must lead the Israelites into the land that God had promised them. They were tired of wandering around in the desert. They were ready to build homes and have farms. The new land was beautiful and good. It was the perfect place to live. Joshua knew that because he had been there as a spy 40 years ago. The new land was on the other side of the Jordan River. There were people living in the land, but they did not believe in God. God wanted his people to have the land. Joshua chose 2 men to go and explore the land. They were to sneak into the large city of Jericho and see how strong the enemy was. The men pretended to be ordinary travelers. Once inside Jericho, they looked for a place to stay. The 2 spies found their way to the house of a woman named Rahab. She had been a bad woman in the city, but she had heard about the Israelite people, and she decided to let the spies stay with her. Rahab knew that the king of Jericho would want to hurt the spies, so she decided to hide them. Where could she hide them? She remembered that she had put stalks of flax on her roof. They were spread out to dry. That would be the perfect hiding place. She told the spies to go onto the roof and hide under the flax stalks. No one would see them there. The king had been hearing all about the Israelites. He knew they might attack his city. He told everyone to watch out for strangers. He knew the Israelites might send spies. And he was right. Someone told him that the spies were staying at Rahab's house. The king sent soldiers to find them. When they reached Rahab's house, they banged on the front door, shouting, "The king demands that you bring out the 2 men that are staying here. We know they are spies." It was a good thing that Rahab had hidden the spies. She hurried downstairs to open the door for the king's men. She said, "Yes, 2 men were here, but they have just left. If you hurry, you should catch them." "They'll have gone toward the river," shouted a soldier, and they set off in pursuit. The Israelite spies lay very still in their hiding place. Soon Rahab returned. The 2 men asked her why she had risked her life to protect 2 foreign enemies. "I will tell you why," she said. "I know the Lord has promised you this land, and most of my people are afraid of your people. We have heard how God divided the sea for you and brought you throughout the wilderness. When you attack this city, promise me that you will save my life and the life of my family." The men agreed. "If you tell no one about our visit, we will see that you and your family are not harmed." By then it was night and the city gates were shut, but Rahab's house was built on the city wall. She brought a rope and fastened it to the window, and the spies climbed down to the ground outside the city wall. "Escape to the mountains," she advised them. "Hide there for 3 days until the search is over." Before they left, the spies said, "You must tie a piece of scarlet red cord in this window, so we will know your house from a distance when we march against the city. Whoever is inside your house will be saved." The spies were glad that Rahab had saved their lives. Even though Rahab had been a bad woman in the past, now she was helping God's people. Rahab and her spies did not know it yet, but in the future, Rahab would marry an Israelite and her descendants would follow God. In fact, hundreds of years later, one of her descendants would be Jesus Christ. When the 2 spies returned to Joshua, they gave their report. Joshua knew that it was now time to enter their land. And then in the end, when they attacked that city, Rahab's family was saved. And in this case, she had faith in this God that she had never even heard of before, or she'd heard very little of. She trusted that the God of the Israelites was the God that she needed to follow, and that was the God that could protect her. So she chose to help these spies, even if she was putting herself in danger because of it. And she chose to leave that cord there, trusting that God would protect her. And he did. And we can also trust God. It looks different now. We're not going to war like that. We're not doing other things. But she trusted God enough to do what he said.